Hello everybody, it's me, Biliah the Sega Gamer, and welcome back to the Sonic CD Let's Play for the Sega CD, Part 2. In the last part, we already completed Palmtree Panic, and what's this? A pink hedgehog gets kidnapped? Well, obviously that pink hedgehog is Amy Rose, of course. And in the Sonic series, she will become Sonic's one true lover because in this game Sonic, of course, saves her for the first time, and oh man, that has to be the biggest mistakes that Sonic ever did in this game. Well, right now we're in, of course, Collision Chaos, which is pretty much Spring Yard Zone 2.0. Seeing how it has the pinball gimmick back from Sonic 2, and bouncing on spring gimmicks from Spring Yard Zone. And the zone, it's somewhat my least favorite zone. Not as bad as Wacky Workbench, but you just get bounced all over the place and stuff like that. Well, anyway, I'm gonna today talk about Sonic CD's development and how this game got released episodically instead of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. You see, Sonic CD was supposed to be, let's say, the original Sonic the Hedgehog 2, because Nato Ifume wanted to make his own version of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. But however, Yuji Naka and the rest of Sega didn't agree on his own version of Sonic 2, which I could say otherwise because the level design that he picked is atrocious, well, in some areas. So they developed a separate team to make this game, and seeing how Sonic CD came out in between Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, that's why you don't see Tails in this game, and that's why you see the Sonic 1 sprite. Also, I would like to talk about the soundtrack changes. The Japanese soundtrack is composed by Nofune Nata, who also did Golden Axe 2 and 3 and the Nights into Series Nights into Dreams series, of course. And the American soundtrack is composed by Spencer Hyland and David Young. And the American soundtrack is supposed to have a much more darker and gritty atmosphere. Personally though, I do prefer the Japanese soundtrack, seeing how it's much more catchier and memorable, but there are some American soundtracks I actually like. Like Tidal Tempest, Wacky Workbench, which is miles better than the Japanese version. Piece of shit! And a couple more soundtracks you'll be hearing in this game, of course. Well, we're done with Act 1. And this is the Japanese music, if y'all heard. Oh yeah, this is the special stage I was going to show you. But I just realized that I already showed you this special stage, so I cut it out. Don't worry, I will show some of the special stage, especially one that you all may like in the future, the 6th special stage. Well, I think I cut it out. I'm not sure, because this is like the 3rd special stage. Again, I'm not going for the time stones because, again, like I said in part 1, the special stages are humongously difficult and ridiculous. Oh yeah, believe it or not, guys, I was gonna have a special guest commentate with me on this part, seeing how this special guest also likes Amy Rose as much as I do. I don't like Amy Rose that much as entirely as a character, but you know, you may know her, and her name is like Kara the Hedgehog. I was gonna have her as a special guest for this part, but seeing how she wouldn't respond on Skype, I said forget it. I don't want a whole much delay. Well, anyway, this is the American soundtrack that you listen to right now. Personally, I don't really like it as much. But the cool thing is that in both versions, you get to hear the original Japanese soundtrack if you were in the past. The past soundtrack has been not changed. The only soundtrack they only changed is the present, good future, and bad future. And that's pretty much about it. The rest of the soundtrack hasn't changed. That's why. Sorry that I'm sniffing a lot. I don't have a cold. It's my allergies and stuff like that. That's why. My allergies are a little bit severe, but go with me at the moment. Sorry, I was almost about to sneeze. But anyway, like I said, wait, hold up. Oh, sorry. It's my allergies. Like I said before, the game encouraged you to explore a little, which I like for the most part. And of course, I like the length of the stages. Not too long, but yet again, not too short. A medium length of a stage, which you see in a Sonic game. Unlike Sonic 2, seeing how it's super long, and let's just say I don't really like some of the stages from Sonic 2. Oil Ocean, Hilltop Zone, piece of shit zones, and by the way. Well, anyway, getting the robot generator in both Act 1 and 2 of Collision Chaos is very super easy, by the way, because... Sorry. I just had to sneeze. Because the level design and structure to get to the pass is so simple. Hit a pass sign, and then you want to go to these two rooms that have vertical slopes going up and down, like you saw before. Then after that, do a super peel out, spin to a ball, and you can pretty much get to the pass fast. And the level design is pretty much a little bit unchanged in both versions. Minus the fact that you have a platform section on the top route and the bottom route you don't. Of course. Well, that's done of Act 2. Oh, and that's the results screen music, if you're wondering. Because, yeah, they changed the results screen music in the Japanese version. Yeah, I cut that special stage out because you already saw it. In the Japanese version, it's the main theme song of the game. It's the main ending theme song of the game at Cosmic Eternity. Teleportation, yeah! But in the American soundtrack, it's its own original thing. So I can appreciate it and stuff like that. Well, this is the third special stage, of course. And this sort of reminds me, the third special stage sort of reminds me of something out of Shining Force or Landstalker, if you ever play those games for the Sega Genesis. And also has this like mini clock tower you see there, like you would explore around in Dark Savior. Yeah, I'm recently watching Let's Plays of those, so that way I can LP the game. They don't call me Biliah the Sega Gamer for nothing. I gotta know my Sega games. Well, anyway, this is Act 2, the good future. And nothing changed here, of course. Don't worry, I will show an extras where I show off the bad futures, so yeah. Well, anyway, this boss fight is basically Sonic's Pinball, the beta version. Piece of shit. Well, anyway, this is one of my least favorite boss fights. Cause why? Why the hell do we have to have a pinball gimmick? And it's much more challenging than the ones in Sonic 2. The developers probably thought to themselves that seeing how the most advanced players who uses a spin dash in Sonic the Hedgehog 2 pretty much has an easier time, let's say, jumping on Eggman's cockpit, jumping on Dr. Robotnik's cockpit, and pretty much, yeah, it made it a piss easy Robotnik boss fight. But in this boss fight, Dr. Robotnik pretty much has, let's say a pinball machine, and your job is to go vertically up. The only problem is that you get bumped a lot. Well, anyway.